Welcome back, my anime family and my comic book community. Today I'm going to be exploring my thoughts on Phase 4. Before I do that, cue the intro. Okay, before this video starts, I want to give a little disclaimer. I'm not going to be jumping on the total bandwagon that I see a lot of YouTubers jump on saying that Phase 4 is a complete and utter waste of time. That all the movies are bad, the acting's bad, and there's just no value in it, because that's just simply not true. There are movies that I enjoy, not as good as the first phase in Marvel, but there are movies that I have enjoyed and TV series that I've actually liked when it comes to this phase in Marvel. For example, the Spider-Man movies have been spot on, and the Daredevil and Punisher series have just been grade A works of art. That brings me to my first concern, in which a lot of people are wondering, is that is this phase of Marvel getting a little bit too big? And that's a two-part answer. On the film side, not so much, but on the TV series side, absolutely. So as a lot of you know, in the initial phase of Marvel, what they were doing with the movies is that they all had a point. At the time, the point was to introduce the Infinity Saga. Each movie had to introduce a new character in their origin story, and had to find a way for them to interlock and coexist with this team. And of course, that wasn't the case for every single character, because not every single character had a solo movie. This being the case with Black Widow, she didn't get her own solo movie until after the Infinity Saga was already complete. But they introduced her as a solo character in other standalone films that really brought out her character. I feel that the TV series are seriously lacking this. They feel aimless. It's leaving the audience members wondering, what are these characters here for? What purpose are they serving on the big screen? So take, for example, She-Hulk, and I know I ragged it pretty hard in my last video, but Marvel is doing this kind of genre exploring, if that makes sense. Kind of doing what McDonald's did back in the early 80s, 90s, and 2000s. By introducing food that just has nothing to do with burgers and fries. Pretty sure we all remember in the early 2000s when they had the little snack wrap and the salad in the cup. They were trying to please multiple demographics of people. The problem with this being is that these products come off as gimmicky, which is something that I feel about She-Hulk. And look, I wouldn't be coming down so hard on it if this wasn't the first real introduction to this character. And this wasn't just the case with She-Hulk. This happened with Thor Ragnarok. They made that into a comedy when that was supposed to be the Incredible Hulk's movie of Planet Hulk. And this genre swapping can leave a lot of people upset. Because if I go to the movies expecting to see a serious Incredible Hulk movie starring one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and you give me a comedy, I'm gonna be a little bit pissed off. Because now Marvel is pretty much saying that these line of films are no longer made for me, which for the most part is true. Look at Teen Titans Go. I know that's a completely different direction, but let's go with it. Teen Titans Go was not made for people who grew up on the 2000s version of Teen Titans. It's for kids, and as a kid show, it did very, very well. But at the same time, it left the original fans feeling a little bit mad. That's how I feel about the spin-off TV shows of Marvel. Pretty much Disney is saying, hey, you know what? Let's try to cast a wider net and get more eyes on our product. Let's turn Thor into a series that's just meant for kids. Let's turn She-Hulk into a series that's just meant for women. And from a financial standpoint, from a big blockbuster company, that would seem like the right move to do. But the issue with that being is that you're going to lose a lot of your target audience, which are comic book fans. And I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, and it could just be me, but DC is starting to move up the chain. They keep Zack Snyder on the payroll as the director, they're going to start out-earning Marvel. Now, when it comes to the movie side of the house, I would say they have a little bit of the same problem. The movies don't seem to make a lot of sense anymore. Scenes, from what I'm seeing, are a little bit all over the place. It's becoming increasingly difficult for people to understand how these movies lock together. In the first phase of Marvel, you didn't have that. I would say that these movies, in terms of organization, is suffering a lot in Phase 4. But the one thing I would encourage people to do is to not lose hope. And there's one main reason why I say this, is because you still see McDonald's serving burgers on the menu. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that even though companies try to do this gimmicky stuff where they try to appeal to multiple demographics of people, they still come back to what they know best and what their bread and butter is. And for the MCU, that's the serious brand of comic book movies. That's at the end of the day what we came to see. Because what they're doing is not really much different from what comic book writers have been doing for decades. And what it's doing is giving the audience members a peek into what their life is like when they're not fighting crime. There's been a ton of examples of this, from Superman getting a haircut to Batman shopping for capes, but it never lasts forever, and they always return to the good old Superman and Batman that we all know. It's gonna be the same thing with Thor, Hulk, and the rest of these comic characters whose image they're trying to change. Eventually, there's gonna be enough outcry from the fans that they return them back to the same serious characters that we know and love. But until then, we're just kind of gonna have to deal with it. But look, guys, I gotta go. And like I always say, if you stuck with me this long, I really, really appreciate you. Don't forget to keep an eye out for my next video where I discuss the top 4 black anime characters that definitely need a solo series. And to make sure you're not left out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell up top so you can be notified of the latest and greatest videos. And also, don't forget to like and comment because I love to hear feedback from you guys. Not following the Instagram page, I do not know what you're doing. Please head over there and follow if you like daily anime and comic book fun. You can also DM your boy for any suggestions on videos that you want to see. Until next time, my Namekians and Asgardians, peace.